meant to be. Mike Scioscia's Anaheim Angels and Tony La Russa's St. Louis Cardinals, the hottest two teams in Major League Baseball, meet for the first time ever next on Fox Sports Net. Tim Salmon. There are few hotter players in Major League Baseball than this Anaheim outfielder. He's a good one, and he and the Angels are in town tonight. A beautiful night in downtown St. Louis for the first of a three-game set between the Anaheim Angels and the St. Louis Cardinals. It is a wonderful opportunity tonight to continue this fine interleague play as you look at the matchup. Nearly identical records and nearly identical people. Joe Buck and Al Hrabosky with you here tonight. This is a matchup really of two pitchers who are about at the same spot with their records. You've got two teams who are about at the same spot with their records. You've got Anaheim knocking on the door of first place. The Cardinals finally caught up to first place. Should be a good three-game series.
It should, and I'm glad you're such a front runner. You decided to come back once we got to first place.
Hey, contracts are tough around here, but there are certain things you can write in that when they come true, you pop up.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? I think what really makes us special, too, is Jim Edmonds, because he came over here and kind of, you know, with a tainted reputation when he made the jump from Anaheim to St. Louis. We have just seen excellence from Jim Edmonds, and I was talking to Mike Scioscia and the coaching staff. He never played for them. They traded him during spring training, so they heard the same stories and everything else. So I think we're going to show Jim Edmonds that, you know, St. Louis is very happy to see him.
So he can show all of his old buddies just what he's been talking about all these many years about baseball here in St. Louis. How about the pitching matchup for tonight's game? Two right-handers, two veterans, and the Cardinals are very aware of the Anaheim Angels right-hander, Kevin Apier, who they just faced with the New York Mets.
That's right, and they beat him. They've had him handily. He is also on a losing streak. He's lost his last 4 ball games, but neither one of the starters have beat their opposition tonight.
The other side, the Cardinals have Darry Kile, and I was watching back at home. You were there in Seattle. Seems to be something missing right now with Darry Kile, and I don't know if I can put my finger on it.
And that's why Tony La Russa brought him out of that game only 4 1/3 innings. His, you know, it was the shortest outing of the year for Darry. He was not right, and they desperately are trying to get him right, because without Darry Kile and his contribution, we don't win.
Well, that's the pitching matchup for tonight's game. We get ready, and we ask you to settle in. Tonight, the Anaheim Angels and the St. Louis Cardinals. Jim Edmonds says hello to some of his old friends. Back with more in a moment. Busch Stadium and getting ready for the start of this game. We've talked a lot about Jim Edmonds. Here's Dan McLaughlin talking to the Cardinals center fielder.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Well, Jim, going up against Anaheim, I know this is going to be a special night for you, isn't it?
It'll be fun. I think the special night was last night for those guys to come in and get to go to dinner and see him, but the guys that I'm really close with, I see all winter long, so it'll be fun for them to come and play this park and see this atmosphere. I think it's going to be special for them more than it will be for me.
It sounds crazy, but you've been in this league a long, long time. Would you get butterflies over a game like this?
I don't know yet. You know, I mean, I'm just going to go out there and play hard. Hopefully I won't, you know, right now the way I feel, I just play hard, and if I go 0 for 10 or 10 for 10, I think it'll be the same. I just think it'll be exciting for them. I think the thing's going to be for them to come in here and see what this is all about. You know, I know what it's about, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. You know, I just try to make it, I'll downplay it that way, so it'll be easier for me.
Have you told them about this crowd, the atmosphere, and what happens here at Busch?
Oh yeah, definitely. They know. Troy Glass obviously has been here in the playoffs, and they all know, and they've all been out here already to see what it's like, so I'm interested to hear what they say after the game.
How about your wrist? How's that feeling?
Doing all right. It's doing all right. Going to be probably a little sore for a couple more days at least, or a week, and I'm just going to play and see what I can do.
Enjoy it tonight.
Thank you.
You bet. That is center fielder Jim Edmonds, 4-time Gold Glover. A couple of those Gold Gloves guys with Anaheim. We'll take a timeout. Coming up, it's interleague play here at Busch. The Cardinals play the first of 3 against the Anaheim Angels, and it comes your way next.
At Advance Auto Parts, we believe in doing it yourself. So
would you? Just look at it. Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Net. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. By Pennzoil, protection under the toughest conditions. and by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. Look at that. Look at that. It's just beautiful here. Mike Scioscia was one of my favorites as a kid growing up. One of the best catchers ever at blocking home plate. I can remember a collision between Scioscia and Jack Clark. I'll remember it to the day I die. Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Here it is. Eckstein, Erstad, Gloss, Anderson, Salmon in the middle. We highlight him. Then Fulmer, Molina, Kennedy, and Kevin Apier pitching and batting ninth. Let's go around the horn. It's brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Dino Martinez is back starting at first base after the day off on Sunday. Fernando Vina at second. Across the way, it's Polanco over at third. And the shortstop is Edgar Renteria, who may be headed to the All-Star game. Who knows? Albert Pujols is in left. Jim Edmonds is in center. We hope that J.D. Drew continues to swing the bat better, as he has of late. He's in right. Mike Matheny does the catching. And Darry Kile is on the mound with his .500 record. This is half of our Chrysler Jeep pitching matchup.
He lost his last time out, Joe, and as you said, it was not a good performance, his shortest outing of the year. So they're really trying to get him straightened out. And started to get more consistent with the curveball. The fastball's been there all the time, but location is not.
7-11. 7-11 on the scoreboard clock. And here is Eckstein, who has hit a couple of walk-off grand slams this year.
He has 3 grand slams this year. The first 2 grand slams coming in back-to-back or consecutive games.
Well, you can see why. He's enormous.
Yeah.
90 miles an hour for strike one over the inside corner. 88 degrees in downtown St. Louis. Eckstein has not struck out in his last 57 plate appearances, and that will continue. Vina, bad throw, safe. Vina a little too relaxed on that play after making the stop and floated the ball over to first base. That's one of the few and rare bad throws we've ever seen Fernando Vina make from that spot.
So good, and of late maybe his concentration has gotten rid of or getting away from it. It's his 7th error. Ball was hit sharply by the second toughest man to fan in the American League. I don't know why he went down, but then he comes up. I thought Tino got him on the leg, but Larry Poncino said he did not. But there you see that throw and kind of sails on him a little bit up the line, and couldn't tell if he got him on the foot or not.
Looked like he got him on the foot, but it may have been after Eckstein touched the bag. At any rate, error number 7. Runner at first, nobody out. Here's Erstad. He takes a pitch up and away. This is a good lineup. They're not doing it with smoke and mirrors in the American League West. They're only a game out behind the heavily favored Seattle Mariners. They can hit, and more than really at any point in the last handful of years, now they've got a starting rotation where they can rely on somebody to give them a chance to win every 5 days.
Joe, they are 33-13 over their last 46 games. It's the second best start after 66 games for Mike Scioscia's team, and he got off to the worst start in franchise history earlier this year.
1 on, nobody out. The 1-0 pitch is a strike on the outside corner. In case you want to know, the home plate umpire is Ed Rapuano tonight. And we'll see if Kile can get around a leadoff error, and it's bad news when a guy like Erstad is standing in, having accomplished that over the last 4 games. Gloss, and then Garrett Anderson will follow.
Erstad got his 1,000th career hit on June 15th.
2 balls and a strike on Erstad.
He's number 1 in interleague play with 135 hits, and 5th with a .352 batting average during interleague play.
Erstad lives in the baseball hotbed of Fargo, North Dakota.
A lot of players coming out of there annually.
Absolutely. Runner goes. Chance for Matheny. The error is erased. 1-0. Maybe word doesn't travel over to the American League, but Eckstein is taken off the bases by that weapon behind home plate.
Well, Mike Matheny is so good to throwing, and a few times that they do steal, they're definitely stealing off the pitcher. They get a good jump off of Darry Kile, but Mike Matheny with his quick release can make up for some of those mistakes pitchers make, not paying strict attention or are slow to the plate.
Look at that swing by Erstad, and he flies one into center. And the former Angels center fielder puts it away, 2 out. Talk about a guy ready to launch a ball. Erstad almost goes down on one knee, and he flies into center. That gives Matheny, by the way, as Eckstein was looking for his 13th steal of the season, he's at 31% on the year. Mike Piazza, in contrast, for the New York Mets, is at a robust 4%.
He finally got one, right?
He did. They had
51?
51 consecutive stolen bases
Wow.
against Piazza. And if anybody doesn't think he should change positions, if you need more evidence than that, I don't know what it could be. Right down the chute for a strike to Troy Glaus, who's one of the best young corner infielders in the game. Troy has hit 13 home runs, driven in 52.
He is truly one of the best power guys in the American League.
41 home runs a year ago.
Struggling of late, batting only 145 overall. 9 of his 13 home runs have come on the road.
2 balls and a strike.
Got 15 home runs and 38 RBIs in 61 interleague games in his career.
Got the corner. It's 2-2. Glaus didn't like it.
Troy Glaus and Garrett Anderson are 2 of Jim Edmonds' closest friends.
Bad curveball from Kile. Full count.
Have to believe he's going to get a breaking ball here.
The worst during June. Glaus is on the list.
Fastball.
And it's still full. Will he get another? The Cardinals come in tied with the Cincinnati Reds atop the Central Division, and Seattle is leading at Cincinnati 2-1. They're in the bottom of the 4th inning. So the Cardinals play Anaheim, and the first place co-tenants, the Reds, play Seattle. 3-2 pitch, breaking ball, and it's over but low. A 2-out walk. Dave Duncan a bit perplexed at the way Kile has been throwing lately. And just looking at Kyle's body language, it's not as crisp and as directed and pointed as it usually is. Where he gets it, he's glaring in, he's looking for the sign. I don't see that right now.
Yeah, good observation, Joe. Is, you know, we see so many times Matt Morris how animated he is, and get the ball and fire it, and just a sign of how he feels about his game, and Darryl doesn't present that same picture.
You know, you see it with Woody Williams, see it with Simon Tachi, of course Morris, he's the best example, and typically it's been Kile that has had that glare about him on the mound, and right now it's missing.
All he needs to do is throw a couple zeros up there. 3 for 6, a home run against Darryl Kile.
It's a little interleague action. Kile was with Colorado. Now the count's 2-0. Kile gave up big 2-out 3-run home run to Mark McLemore in that last start in Seattle that blew the game open. And Joel Pinheiro took care of the rest. Did you like him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's foul. I got a chance to see his first major league start at Yankee Stadium, and he petered out a little bit by the end of the outing, but early on you could see that he had just electric stuff.
It was curious to me, because remember last year how he retired all right-handed batters, like the first 51 or so he faced.
Right.
And Tony said before the game, well, I'm putting my right-handers in there. So he must have had some stat that contradicted what last year's numbers were.
Anderson went after one out of the strike zone, and the count 2-2. Garrett was a guy that was always seemingly on the trading block, if you like to listen to those rumors that float around on the internet or on radio call-in shows. He settled in and had a very good year last year.
Yeah, and even this year, his last 20 games, 392 average.
And drove in 123 runs last season. 2-2 pitch, ripped down the line, but foul.
Joey, this was a guy that every time Jim Edmonds talked about Cardinals trying to make a trade, it was either Garrett Anderson or it was Troy Gloss, or not necessarily Gloss, but Percival. Jimmy was always trying to talk to these guys and talking to Walt Jogging and say, here's the guys you need to get.
I could have pointed those guys out to him. They make $10 million a year. The 2-2 pitch. Good pitch, and the inning is over as Kile gets his first strikeout of the night. It started with an error. Matheny took care of that, and after a walk, Anderson strikes out. Bottom of the first, Apier to the hill, no score. Are in the dugout and ready to take their hacks against Kevin Apier. The Southwest Airlines starting lineup looks like this. Fernando Vina leads off, then Polanco. You look at the home run hit on Sunday by Drew. He hits third, then Albert Pujols cleans up. Jim Edmonds in center, Tino Martinez at first, then Renteria, Matheny, and Darry Kile pitching and batting ninth. The Anaheim Angels look like this around the horn, brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. They've got Fulmer at first base, Adam Kennedy, former Cardinal, at second, Troy Gloss at third, and David Eckstein is at shortstop. Around the outfield, it's Anderson in left, Darren Erstad is in center, and Tim Salmon is over in right. Molina does the catching, and Apier, an 11-game winner from the National League and the New York Mets a year ago, is on the hill, and he's the other half of our Chrysler Jeep pitching matchup.
Well, he's lost his last 4 starts, and he's 0-2 lifetime with an ERA almost 9 against the Cardinals.
That floated in for a strike to Vina, hitting .295.
Apier had a long time in the American League, so Vina faced him when he was with Kansas City.
And Vina was with the Milwaukee Brewers, who used to be in the American League.
And of course, didn't have much success. He has hit a home run, but only 2 for 13 off of Apier.
Remember those days, Al? Milwaukee was in the American League.
Yeah, they probably should be back there.
The 1-1. That's foul. Those were the days, weren't they?
Yeah.
Pat Listash, Bill Garner. A magical time in baseball.
Listash, boy, he went out quick, didn't he?
He disappeared. He disappeared. He went from Rookie of the Year to where are they now? There it is. The best damn sports show period. Vina plunks one into center. That's a good start. Cardinals have their leadoff man on.
Boy, Vina has been outstanding as a leadoff man. And how about as an RBI machine from the leadoff spot? He's been very good there. Vina just going up there, putting the ball in play, not trying to do too much. Leads the ball club, 11 steals. But Molina has been very good at throwing out base runners this year.
Here's Polanco, who has a modest 10-game hitting streak going.
Second 10-game hitting streak of the year. And also he's 6 for 8 when facing Apier.
What do you think Fernando Vina wanted to know? What do you think Rip Rowan wanted to know? What do you think Albert Pujols wanted to know? What do you think the whole line of people? Mike Matthews, Jim Edmonds, Mike Matheny. How's your dad?
Exactly.
He is listening back at Barnes Hospital, watching Cardinal baseball, hanging in there. Toughest man in the world.
You better believe that.
2 balls, no strikes. So love you, Dad. We miss you here at the ballpark.
And that is echoed from every ballpark in America. And
from our humble little happy group at Busch Stadium.
Yep.
2 balls, no strikes on Polanco with a runner at first, nobody out. Cardinals continuing the homestand with 2 more. after tonight, and then a trip to Chicago over the weekend. Runner goes, hit and run, go to third, Fernando. Throw to third, Darren. Safe, first and third, nobody out.
That's looks great when you're safe. Close play there at third base. The call goes the Cardinals' way. With one of Jack Buck's best friends.
Oh, and I left him off the list. He was the first guy, Bruce Fremming.
He's running on the pitch. Had to make sure he got over the head of Kennedy, and then it was a foot race. Close play there, but the call goes the Cardinals' way.
Now a golden chance for the Cardinals to put something on the board against Apier, who, as Al mentioned, has been struggling. We get another look at it at third. He was safe. It was close. A little late with a tag with Gloss, and now it's Drew with runners at the corners and nobody out. If you're Kevin Apier, what sort of scouting report did you get on J.D. Drew before tonight's game?
Well, I'm sure that was the scouting report was to throw the off-speed pitches. Try and get ahead of him. Mike Scioscia. So happy for him, and you were right, Joe. There was no one better at blocking home plate.
He was a wall wearing number 14 for the Dodgers.
Yep, and actually at the end of my career, I went and played winter ball and roomed with Scioscia in the Dominican. Had Mickey Hatcher as hitting coach on our team, and Sutcliffe. We had all kinds of fun.
Cast from one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
I've left my mark on all of them.
1 ball, 1 strike.
There's Mr. Cuckoo.
Mickey Hatcher. He had some energy when he played.
Oh, he was so much fun, and you could see how these guys could probably really relate to him and have a great time with his coaching staff. Interesting coaching staff too.
Runners at the corners with nobody out, and the 1-1 to Drew. That'll get a run home. Salmon puts it away. Both runners tag. Only Vigna advances, and it's 1-0 Cardinals. Sac fly by J.D. gives him 32 RBIs on the season.
Well, we know the Cardinals are very good at coming from behind, but so are these Anaheim Angels. So you just got to keep on pushing and keep on trying to get kind of jammed him a little floater up there. Didn't get it out on the sweet part of the bat, but enough to muscle it out into right field for the sacrifice fly.
Very similar pitch and swing that Drew took out of the park on Sunday against the left-hander with Kansas City. A pitch up and in that he got on top of somehow and drove it out of here. Here's Albert, who would vote, if given the opportunity, for interleague play every series of the season. Forget the unbalanced schedule and playing teams within your own division. He wants to play teams in the other league.
He hit the grand slam up in Seattle. See where he is on the leaderboard in runs in the National League.
Oh, that hit Pujols on the
there. See the 1 home run, 15 hits, 44 at bats.
How about Edmonds? He's standing there like a statue on 2-0, and Apier throws a perfect changeup or an off-speed pitch that drops in. I'm sure he was hoping Edmonds would swing. Now it's 3-1 with Tino Martinez on deck.
Well, Jimmy's saying, okay, just try and look for his zone. But I think we're going to see a hard swing.
This will be Launch City, USA on this 3-1 pitch. How about a birds on bat high fastball?
Head in the count. Look at that average.
Good. 680. Well, he's ahead in the count here, 3-1. Now it's 3-2.
Napier still has a good breaking ball. He doesn't throw nearly as hard as he used to, but he can spot his pitches.
Edmonds and the Cardinals threw this party for the Angels, and I'm sure Edmonds will be happy to see people filling these seats. Big crowd here tonight on a Tuesday night. Do the runners go? The answer is no. Edmonds strikes out, and it's up to Tino Martinez. So Edmonds went after ball 4 on a pitch that kept moving away, and Tino will bat.
You're right. Look where the catcher's set up, and look at the ball just running up and away, and Jimmy a little bit frustrated, but that's what we say. You try and play against your former mates. You want to stay within yourself. Try to do too much.
Well, Tino never played for the Angels.
No.
So let's see if he can ride one. He has faced Napier plenty of times.
54 times, 241 average, but 4 home runs.
2 on, 2 out. Strike 1. Haven't seen much at all in the way of hittable fastballs from Kevin Napier. Last 10 games, Martinez hitting 300 overall, 239.
But Joe, that's the type of veteran pitcher he is. He has 152 career wins, and he knows he can't throw his fastball in the strike zone. He's got to, move it up and in, or run it away, or something like that. But if he leaves it in the middle of the plate, it'll be hit.
See the year and the career for Kevin Napier. 14th season, 152 wins. Perennial All-Star with Kansas City before arm trouble. And a good year with Oakland. Martinez gets under it. Back near the track is Salmon, and the Cardinals get only 1. 2 hits, a sac fly, a hit batsman, 2 left. We go to the second inning. Darry Kile, you've got your run. They don't score many for Kyle. Go get him, DK. Cardinals as we go to the second inning. Cardinals 2 hits, the Angels none. Cardinals Game Day magazine, the hot new issue is out. Jim Edmonds goes deep on the cover and in a centerfold poster that you won't want to miss. Call now 314-982-7336 for Cardinals Game Day magazine. Tim Salmon first up, hitting 400 this month. The tester for Renteria. 1 out.
You mentioned at the top that Edgar could be going to the All-Star game. He's had a solid season, hasn't he?
He really has. And when you consider that Jimmy Rollins is the leading vote getter at shortstop in the National League, well, it doesn't figure. Today's Ford Dealers Key matchup, the lineup spots for Mike Scioscia. The heart of their order ranks 2nd in the American League, and the bottom of their order, which is a little different than what we will get here because of the no DH, and we'll see Napier bat instead of another guy who can hit. Fulmer. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Maybe that's what Darry Kile needs. Have the Angels help him out. Benji Molina will be the batter he faces. He's a catcher for Anaheim, and he's got a younger brother that's a catcher in the Cardinals system and doing quite well at Peoria.
Well, as my dad would say, he's big enough to hit the ball. 276 average. He hasn't gone deep, but does have 26 RBIs. Adam Kennedy, the main piece of property along with Bottenfield that the Cardinals traded to get Edmonds, waits on deck, and you knew he wasn't going to swing at it. At least you didn't think so. 3rd pitch of the inning with 2 out, nobody on.
You believe that 210?
Judging by where I weigh in and looking at him, no, I don't, but it doesn't really matter.
Well, he's hitting 361 on the road. That's 2nd in the American League. You know who's number 1, don't you?
In the AL?
Yes.
Road average?
Road average, or any average.
Ichiro?
That's right. How did you guess?
I don't know. Just the way you asked the question. That's out of play. 2-2.
Talk about averages. You know, you just say Ichiro. He was quite impressive, wasn't he? Were Erstad and Molina tied for that 361 road average to 410 for Ichiro.
Here's a 2-2. And there's another foul. See how the Cardinals want to go about getting Benji Molina with a 2-2 count.
Too early to drop down sidearm. So he didn't want the sinker. Maybe he does want to go sidearm on it. No?
Back to Darryl. 3 ground ball outs, and we go to the bottom of the second. Salmon, Fulmer, Molina. Bottom of inning number 2. It'll be Renteria, Matheny, and Kile. Cardinals up 1-0. We bring you this Schnucks date in baseball history. June 18th, 1940. Dodger Ducky Medwick, traded less than a week ago, is beaned by former Cardinal teammate Bob Bauman. There you go. I mean, we talked about Clemens and Estes and the Mets and Yankees. That stuff's been happening throughout the history of baseball.
Of course it has. Of course it has. Ducky Medwick. I came into the Cardinal organization. He was the roving minor league hitting instructor.
Breaking balls low to Renteria.
And he was a very interesting character. Of course, he was Hungarian. And the last Triple Crown winner in the National League, 1937.
And his first name was Joe.
Joe.
Joe Ducky. I don't think. My name's Joe. I don't think I could get away with that nickname, Ducky. Do you think that would work?
No, not for you, Joe. Joe Prince.
Here's a 1-1 to Renteria, hitting .286. What do you think? You've seen this team more than I have. I don't see anybody playing short better in the National League than Renteria.
No, I mean he had a couple errors over the weekend in one game, and he's only got 6, but he's right there, second in RBIs. He had been leading fielding percentage most of the year. He's been swinging a good bat. He's raised his average to .286, which is second best mark among National League shortstops. He's hit .305 his last 24 games. And Mitchell Page very proud of the fact that not swinging the fences, going the opposite way, taking the ball up the middle.
The 2-2 to Renteria. There you go, leadoff base hit. You consider where Renteria was in the first half at this time last year to where he is now. He was at this point last year driving himself right onto the trading block. And now he's driving the ball up the middle for hits.
There you see double clutches, had keep those hands back, recognized the breaking ball, didn't commit, and was able to adjust and hit it up the middle for a base hit. And Joe, you and I both agree that Renteria went into spring training with a commitment to the organization and to himself, and we were predicting back then that he was going to have a great year.
He's on at first and draws a throw from Apier. And again, I commend Walt Jocketty for his patience, because with the team playing the way it was playing in the first half of last year, it was disappointing. It's easy to forget how poorly this team played in the first half of 2001. It's easy to remember how they finished, which was with a flourish and ending with the same record as the Houston Astros. Therefore, the banner of Central Division champs out in the right center field wall. It has drawn the ire of the Houston Astros, who won on a tiebreaker. But Walt Jocketty was patient at that point and could have unloaded Edgar Renteria and didn't.
And once Edgar was not traded at the deadline, he took off.
I think sometimes general managers fall in love with making changes just for change's sake, just to get new blood, just to get somebody else in the clubhouse and move one guy just to change the atmosphere, the chemistry of the team. And Walt Jocketty is much more patient than that.
And I think Tony would be the first one to sing the praise of Renteria and tell you that the more important the game, the more he rises to the level.
the check on Edgar, who has stolen 7. But it was seen again with Jocketty early in the season when the Cardinals had one pitcher after another go down to injury. And the Cardinals relied on the farm system and the scouting to bring guys like Simon Tachi into the organization, and here he is 5-0.
Great story, and it's no longer a local story, is it?
He'll pitch on Saturday on the game of the week at Wrigley.
Yep, you will be bringing that.
Eventually, a 1-0 pitch will head home to Matheny. Runner goes, and that's down into left field corner, hooking foul. Almost. So the Cardinals showing here early that they will run. And I would imagine Apier with that funky delivery is a guy you can run on.
Yeah, Molina is a good throwing catcher, but it is that slow delivery. It's unorthodox. It's deceptive to the hitter, but it takes a long time for him to get the ball to the plate, giving the runner the advantage.
So the count's 1-1. Double play ball. Nope. Gets under the glove of Gloss and into left. Gloss was pulled in, and it sneaked under his glove for a hit.
So I was talking about those couple errors that Renteria made over the weekend, and he told me that this new grass in the infield is much quicker, and that was part of it. And then it does produce some bad hops, but much quicker, and Troy Gloss didn't show a great deal of range there.
That was surprising, to say the least, to see that ball shoot through. But it did, and now with 2 on and nobody out, Kyle will be asked most likely to get a bunt down. On Saturday, June 29th, the Cardinals play the Reds. It's Fujifilm photo night at the ballpark. All fans with a camera will be allowed to go down to the field from 5 to 6 and take photos of their favorite players. Cardinals and Reds, June 29th. You know the number for tickets, 421-3060 or stlcardinals.com.
Well, we saw over the weekend, Cardinal pitchers were a big part of the offense. All 3 starters over the weekend, Morris, Simon Tachi, and Woody all contributed offensively and had RBIs too. American League's not accustomed to seeing Tony use his pitchers as a weapon, so they would be probably very aggressive, and you never know what he might do, and it'll change on every pitch.
And the bunt is perfect. Apier can't make the play. Everybody's safe and the bases are loaded. It's one of the oldest cliches in a broadcaster's book, but Kyle could not have rolled it out there any better. And you hope that Kyle didn't pull something going down the line.
And they give him a base hit on it. He bunts it down the third base line. You want to bunt it hard enough to get it by the pitcher. Draw the third baseman in. You see where Gloss had to come in. He doesn't field the ball. Apier misplays it, but it was such a good bunt that they decided to go ahead and give a single to Darry Kile, continuing that good pitching offensive theme.
Looked like Kyle may have jammed something or tweaked something when he was going down the line, shaking out the right leg, and hopefully it's minor.
Hopefully it wasn't one of those situations where they jump for the bag knowing it's going to be a close play.
Well, the bases are loaded for Vigna. There are few, if any, better at driving in runs from the leadoff spot with runners in scoring position.
365 average for Vigna with runners in scoring position.
And there they are. Renteria, Matheny, and Kyle. Nobody out. Ball 1. Good opportunity for the Cardinals to get some runs for Darry Kile. The Cardinals have averaged 4.1 runs in his 13 starts, but they've scored a total of 5 runs in Kyle's 4 losses this season.
Just like last year.
Out in front and off the foot of Vigna. 1 ball, 1 strike. What do you think Rex Hudler's talking about over in the booth to our right? Of all the times when we do our little share the booth thing with people to our right, how can we not hear from Rex Hudler?
There's the Wonder Dog. There is, somebody said that they are going to call Mark McGwire this evening, the Angel broadcast. We talked to Mark from Southern California. And by the way, when we were on that last road trip, Mark McGwire slipped into town, was here for a few days.
Here's a 1-1 pitch with the bases loaded to Vina. That's pretty well hit into left center field. We'll get a run home. Renneria tags and will score. Another sac fly tonight. The Cardinals lead 2-0. Well, it's not what Vina had in mind, but in the past, I'd say the past few years, even sacrifice flies have been tough to come by, and the Cardinals have 2 tonight.
You're right. Catches a breaking ball, lifts it out there, and Joe, what a difference this ball club. They don't strike out now. Now they can manufacture runs, and you don't always have to get base hits to drive in runs. You can hit a ground ball to the right side, the sacrifice flies, and they all add up to runs which produce wins.
So it's 2 on with 1 out for Polanco, who extended his hitting streak to 11 games with a first inning single. And Napier has not been afraid to pitch inside. In fact, he hit Pujols back in the first. Now the bases are occupied by some guys who don't run well. Matheny and Kile.
Kennedy slipping in behind Matheny, and no throw.
There's a situation for Polanco, who has driven in 15. Low, and it's 2-0 with J.D. Drew on deck.
7 for 9 against Kevin Avery.
So that means that prior to that first inning single, he was 6 for 8.
Yep.
They couldn't be swung around more to the right in the outfield for Polanco. The 2-0. A little flare that might drop. Salmon coming on, won't get there. And everybody able to advance with good base running. The bases are loaded again.
So your calculations now of what Polanco is against Kevin Avery.
8 out of 10.
What do you think that average is?
Like at least 600.
How about 800?
Okay, here's our next direct connect hit.
Just fights it off and plunks it out there in right field, and see Tim Salmon come in here and tries to make a sliding catch, but traps the ball. And good base running, particularly by Kile, to make sure that he didn't get trapped off there. There's Bud Black. I was telling Mike Scioscia when I first entered baseball, there was an old belief that you would never ever hire a left-hander to be a pitching coach. Mike Scioscia didn't know about that, so he hired one.
Right. Meanwhile, the Mets have a knuckleball pitcher. Charlie Huff is their pitcher.
Yeah, that's another thing. Well, the Cardinals had Barney Schultz at one time.
Last 4 games, it's been a struggle for Napier, and not much better tonight. There are the runners, Matheny, Kile, and Polanco. With a guy at the plate, Drew, who already has a sac fly and has 32 driven in on the season. That'll get a run home, and the only out is at first. Second and third, 2 out. 3-0 Cardinals on an RBI ground out by Drew. It's not glitzy, it's not glamorous, but the Cardinals are getting runs across, and it's nice to see.
And it really is, Joe, because that's more frustrating. Giving up sac flies and then ground outs for the advanced runners. They all count.
like a magazine called Highlights that's in every pediatrician's office across the country. We could do a first at-bat picture and a second at-bat picture, and then we could ask the kids in our audience what's different from one picture to the next. Picture to the next. What is it, Al?
I didn't hear the question. I'm still thinking about the pediatricians.
On the inside corner, the magazine Highlights. In every pediatrician's office, they have pictures from one to the next. What's the difference between picture A and picture B? If you put Pujols' first at bat up, a picture of him, that would be picture A. This is picture B. What's different?
It's got the elbow.
Thank you. Second and third, 2 out. If a train left
Yes.
station in St. Louis going 300 miles an hour at 1 o'clock, and another train left Kansas City going 200 miles an hour at 2 o'clock,
The elbow pad.
0-2 on Pujols, who's driven in 46. The answer to the question is 6. Blocked by Molina, which in Spanish is that hill? Is that Colina? Molina's a hill, I believe. Somebody looked that up back at Fox Sports Net Central. Mandy, are you listening back there? Look that up for me, please.
Jack Buck could tell us.
I know he could. I think I'm right. Second and third, 2 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Be a nice hit. The Cardinals can't come up with it here with 2 out in the second. Shattered bat. Adam Kennedy. And the inning is over. So the Cardinals twice load the bases in the inning and come away with a sac fly and an RBI ground out. But the Cards have 3 runs on the board for Kyle, 3-0 after 2. If you would like to email us in the booth, and you can tell us the answer to the question, what does Molina mean in Spanish? I'm saying hill. You may say something else. FoxSports.com, Lycos keyword Cardinals booth. If that means anything to you, get online and talk to us. Like Becky, Queen of Carpets, I'll wave from the top of Busch Stadium. Right here. Here I am, Al, back there greeting the folks from Dirt Cheap Liquor. They're back in the booth.
Yep, dirt cheap. Hey,
Yep.
you were wrong.
What is it? Colina?
Colina and Molina means nothing.
Okay. Well, we were close.
It is closest to windmill.
Windmill.
Right. And I forgot how you pronounce that, but it's something like
Where did you go to find that out?
I went to Mr. Moto.
Perfect.
One of Manny Moto's sons is here doing radio for a Spanish broadcast to the Angels.
Good work. There's a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Our research has failed us, but better than that, my Country Day high school education has failed us. Here in the
Whoa.
second inning of Cardinals Angels.
Oh my goodness.
Round 1. The 1-1 pitch. Hard hit. Wow. Caught by Edgar. 1 out. And that's 5 straight. Retired by Kyle, and that's nice with a pitcher coming up. Midwest Sports Report is coming up right after the game. Throwbacks. Do they still exist in Major League Baseball? Brent Stover goes in search of the throwback player. Bernie Mikla's trade talk. Was the Jim Edmonds trade Walt Jocketty's best ever? It's on a long list. And a complete post-game wrap-up. Me, myself, and Al tonight on the Midwest Sports Report. Irene not here. Apier takes a strike, and Kevin, is that his lifetime average? 105 I just saw pop up there. 0-2.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
I know our virtual managers tomorrow will probably ask this question, but wouldn't it be interesting if you reversed the situation that they do now in interleague play? And what I mean is, the National League fans have never seen the DH and see how that's an inferior game, where the American League fans have never seen the pitchers hit.
You could make a compelling argument then after the fact to the American League cities that, hey, wasn't that fun watching pitchers hit?
And then you could, let the fans be the true judge of which they like best.
I'd like to know what Dan McLaughlin's doing. Here he is.
Well, Joe, you're talking about the game of the week that you'll be calling this weekend at Wrigley Field, and now you were talking about a national story. Well, here it is. Jason Simon-Tachi on the cover of Baseball Weekly of USA Today. And Jason Simon-Tachi, what a story he has become. Still looking for a job at Christmas time on the recommendation of Dave LaPointe, and now he comes to St. Louis. Now he's worked on 4, 8, and 10 days rest. He'll have extra rest again this weekend. You think success has changed him? No way. Still wears his Independent League Championship ring while pitching for Springfield. Still has that on. And this winter, he said he still plans on living with his parents in California. He's making $200,000, but he doesn't care about that. He loves life in the majors and right here in St. Louis. What a story he has become. And Joe, I know you're going to have some fun with that on Saturday afternoon. Back to you.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, there's plenty to talk about. And I happened to be in there when Jason was signing his contract in CJ's office. And CJ said, well, you get the prorated salary of the $200,000 minimum while you're here. And I think he's going to stay around for a while.
I think so.
I don't think he has to worry about renting his place for another month down in Memphis. Eckstein fouls it. Now he's in the hole 1 and 2. I haven't had a chance to be around the team much, but talking to Mike Matheny, he said his description of Jason Simon-Tachi is he is a beauty. I mean, he's just out there having fun and probably doesn't realize he's not supposed to be 5-0. Sidearm, and Eckstein able to hang in there. The count stays 1 and 2.
I think that's what's been most impressive about him, is that he has worked long and hard to get to this point, and he's not going to miss a moment of it and enjoy every second of it, but he's kept it all in perspective.
Breaking ball, and Eckstein lays off.
And probably the most impressive thing that you can say about it is he acts the same way today, 5-0, as he did when he showed up the first day and we hadn't seen him pitch yet. And that's a compliment to Jason.
On 2 and 2. Late swing, and you can see why Eckstein's tough to strike out. You can make a swing like that.
Second toughest in the American League to strike out.
On 2 and 2. That's going to be tough. Base hit. Eckstein is on for the second time tonight. He reached on an error back in the first. And now you get into some meat in this order. Erstad, Gloss, and Anderson. These guys can make it a close game in a hurry.
Watching round the first base bag.
Going straight down the line, thinking that Renteria might come up with it. But it got under Edgar's glove, and it clean single for Eckstein. And now here's Erstad, who flied out to center his first time up. Darren hitting .295. Good fastball for strike one. Erstad at the plate. Eckstein at first with 2 out. Eckstein, I bet, is a favorite of Rex Hudler. I think he plays the game like Rex used to play.
What, run until they tag him out?
Yeah. And I think, you know, we talked about the Midwest Sports Report throwbacks. Hudler is in that category.
Oh, yeah. Rex was a beauty then. He was one of the favorites here.
Just because of hustle.
Yeah, I was going to say, Joe, remember when Rex was here, we had really a poor ball club. And he became one of the most popular guys on the team just because every fan knew him, hustled, and he gave it his all. And I'll tell you what, I think if you're ever down, all you need to do is spend a little 5-minute talk with Rex Hudler, and he'll pump you up.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 2 out. Cardinals leading 3-0 in the third. And that didn't catch the outside corner. 2-1. Here we go. Here's a Colina email.
Not for Country Day either, is it?
No. Adam Fishbein from St. Louis. I referred to a translator online, and you were correct. Colina means hill. But unfortunately, Adam, I thought it was Moline. Here's the 2-1. Broken bat. Should end the inning. And might not, as Vina was not at the bag. The throws goes into the seats. Eckstein will end up at third. Erstad will end up at second on the error. And that was an error because Vina was pulled too far over in the hole. And Renteria was trying to go the short way, and Fernando wasn't there.
I see a ground ball right there, and then he went to throw to second, and he wasn't there, or he's late in covering. And he short hops Martinez, and the ball eludes Tino and goes into the stands. So that's where you get the 2 bases awarded to the hitter. It's his 7th error. Both Vina and Renteria, to the steadiest all year, committed errors here.
Well, now Kyle's going to have to do some pitching to get out of this. Tying runs at the plate. Troy Gloss. Only a matter of time before he busts out of the slump that he's in. So hold your breath. Runners on at second and third. A hit makes it a 1-run game. A long ball makes it a tie game. Tailing fastball for strike 1. We may have the fastest scoreboard strike caller in the league. So fast you don't believe the count that you're looking at after the pitch. But it is 1-1. Lost it over 40 home runs a year ago and takes ball 2.
He was the umpire a couple weeks ago that was so slow in his calls.
That would be the infamous Tim McClellan.
Yes, it was. That was almost ridiculous, wasn't it?
2-1 on the inside corner. Well, this is the polar opposite. You got a guy who stands up, Ed Rapuano, and calls it. Right or wrong, like it or not, he makes the call. And McClellan got himself into trouble with Richard Hidalgo with the Houston Astros when he was here because of that delayed style call of the strike. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Got him on the inside corner. A huge strikeout for Kile. And Darryl gets around another error. A hit, an error, 2 left. And Kile has pitched 3 shutout innings. We go to the bottom of the third. It'll be Edmonds, Martinez, and Renteria. Cards up 3. Record state that Bob Costas is on a cell phone at a baseball game. It's on the record, Bob. We caught you. Sitting right behind Lou Brock.
With a beer. Hey,
See? I was going to say he knew that he was on camera, but now I know he doesn't.
Picking his two.
So good to have Bob here. Good to have Lou Brock here. And see, everybody's a fan of interleague play.
We're going to talk to Lou hopefully later on. It's his birthday today.
I did not know that. Here's Jim Edmonds, who struck out his first time. Strike 1.
Got a great letter from a buddy of mine, Bill Turpinoff. It's his birthday. I think Bill's 89. He's telling me about all the great players that he's seen through all the stars, from Babe Ruth and everybody from that came through to see the Cardinals were Brownies.
No balls, 1 strike on Edmonds. 1-1. Edmonds had a couple on with only 1 out, struck out back in the first, and then Martinez got under a pitch and flied into rather deep right, but didn't get it out of here. Cardinals have scored 3 and left 4 and lead 3-0 in the third.
Jimmy had doubled in his first at bat back off the DL.
On the corner, according to Rapuano, and not Edmonds. 1-2.
You can't beat him, so He didn't like it. Asked.
Edmonds checked it. The count 2-2.
Well, you don't want to talk to any of these Italian guys after what happened. Italy loses. South Korea, the World Cup.
They did.
Oh my goodness. The Italians should be. Now they're hiding today.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Edmonds trying to get something going. The Cardinals have had guys on the bases all over the place the first 2 innings. 3-2. Edmonds averaged .339. You talked to him more than most. How's the wrist feeling?
It's feeling pretty good, but I mean it's not quite there. And of course, sitting out as long as he did with not much hitting, you know, his timing's a little bit off. He got the base hit in his first plate appearance after being out for 15 days, and I think he only had about 2 or 3 days of batting practice.
Edmonds still in a conversation, but it appears to be a nice conversation now with Rapuano.
I think he's Ed's one of the better umpires.
3-2. That's well hit into left center field. Got a chance. Edmonds has homered against the Angels. 4-0 St. Louis.
Home run. When he got hurt, he was leading the club in home runs and RBIs. Pujols had caught up to him and passed him, but this is just Jim Edmonds. You know, you go out there and he's so dangerous because he'll hit it to all fields.
There's a line drive into right and over the head of Salmon for a double for Tino Martinez, and the Cardinals are getting their whacks against Kevin Apier.
You know, we don't know a lot about the Angels, but I had just assumed that Salmon was a better fielder than what he's shown today. He has not impressed me at all. Coming in on a ball, or now this one line drive over his head that he looked awkward going after.
So now Renteria, Matheny, and Kile will try to add to what is a 4-0 lead. And action starts for the Angels out in their bullpen. Meanwhile, Seattle leads 6-1, the bottom of the 7th at Cincinnati. So this could be a good night. Cardinals and Reds started the night tied for first place in the Central. Here's Edgar. There's ball 1, and it gets away from Molina momentarily. Boy, it sounded good coming off the bat, didn't it?
Yes, it did. 3-2 pitch, had to throw him a strike, and out away from him. And this is what Jim Edmonds is so good at. He can hit the ball to all fields, and you don't try to harp on it, but you know, when J.D. Drew was swinging the bat well over the weekend, what was he doing? He was hitting the ball the opposite field.
A 1-0 to Renteria. 2-0. 395 feet. How far they measured that home run hit by Edmonds to the back of the bullpen, which is busy now for the Angels. Runners in scoring position. Renteria has been good. Cardinals lead 4-0. They've out hit Anaheim 8-2, and Kile has pitched very well. Here's a 2-0. The 2-0 breaking ball, 3-0. Lou Pope getting loose for the Angels in their bullpen.
Banged out 8 hits against Apier. He's hit a batter, and he's pitching behind an awful lot.
That's well hit into right field. Salmon back at the wall. It's gone. Home run Renteria. 6-0 as Edgar gets his 3rd of the year.
to see Edgar with that solid approach of up the middle or out away from him, and he is strong enough where he can take it to the opposite field. Third home run, and outstanding season for Renteria just continues. Out away from him, 3-0 pitch. And he didn't get it, got it more inside. Look at up over the middle of the plate, and a controlled swing by Edgar, and pays off right on top of the wall.
That's it for Apier. The end of the night. This ball jumped out of the park. Off the Ice Colina sign out in right. A homer, a double, another homer here in the third. Apier is gone. Renteria sent him away. Lou Pote will take over. Lou Pote is pitching. Lou Brock is down with Dan McLaughlin. Dan?
All right, Joe, thanks a lot. 63 years young is this man, the Hall of Famer Lou Brock. How you doing, sir?
Dan, I'm fine. I feel great. I feel like I'm 39.
How often do you get down to the ballpark these days?
Very often, because I live close by, it's easy to get here and get a chance to see the guys, which I hang out with in spring training every year anyway.
How about the interleague play? Are you a fan of this?
Well, this is incredible. I was just saying to my wife a moment ago that this is certainly interesting because the Anaheim Angels in St. Louis, and it's not a World Series.
That's what Mike Shannon was saying before the game.
Well, it's fascinating because Jim Edmonds certainly greeted him a moment ago, and I just shared with her that this is the team that he came from. And of course, this is one of the things that you see in the interleague play, and that people get a chance to see people they normally would never see.
How amazed do you get in watching the ball travel off of some of the little guys' bats? I mean, it seems like that ball is flying right and left out of here.
Well, it's incredible. The fact is that they really smashed that ball, and certainly I'm not so sure what the reason, but they really flying out of the ballpark.
Now, I'm going to credit this question to Joe Buck because he's in my ear, and you don't have the luxury of hearing this. So this is all Joe Buck here, Mr. Brock. Did you ever take steroids?
I never heard of it. I got out of baseball.
Now, on a serious note, I know that you being in the Hall of Fame want to wish Mr. Buck, another Hall of Famer, the best of luck and get back here soon.
Well, we certainly do. In fact, we have gone by to see him on a couple of occasions, and we certainly wish him well and the family well, and hopefully that we have him back soon.
Happy birthday, sir. Great job.
Thank you.
You bet. That is Hall of Famer Lou Brock. Joe, that question was credited to you.
I heard. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Lou Pote is on the mound, and Lou and his wife Jackie have been very dear friends, and checking on my dad and checking on my mom, and you know, you see those guys. Lou, here's a 3-2 pitch. Matheny ducks out of the way. Have a pretty close pitch, but it's ball 4, and there's still nobody out in the inning. Lou is just naturally a raw, strong man. I mean, he's in incredible shape. He was then, he is now, he always will be, and he still looks like he can get out there and play. But you talk about steroids to some of these guys that played back then. They had other jobs. They were naturally strong people that didn't need the help.
Well, you had to have an outside job, an off-season job, and many times it was as manual laborers, or how many guys were farmers. But Lou Brock, you're right, and Lou Brock one year hit 21 home runs, and still to this day had one of the longest home runs ever hit at the Polo Grounds.
Meanwhile, Brady Anderson, 96, hit 50
as a
home
leadoff
runs
man.
as a leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
And then never came anywhere close to that again. Coincidence?
Yes.
1 ball, no strikes. Another perfect bunt by Kile. He laid down a beauty for a hit back in the second. This one for a sacrifice, 1-4. And it'll be a runner at second, 1 out. Back to the top of the order, and Fernando Vina. Cardinals leading it 6-0. Cardinal fans, you want to get to Cooperstown to honor Ozzie Smith during his induction on July 28th. Call 1-800-662-4424 to make plans to see the Wizard get inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And don't forget to book your flight on Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the St. Louis Cardinals. He's the only player going in, Ozzie Smith. And that's how you can be a part of a fun day at Cooperstown, which is a special place if you've never been there. Not the easiest place in the world to get to, and that's the way it should be. You have to work to get there. That got away from Molina. It might have been kept at the plate by the home plate umpire Ed Rapuano, and it's ball one.
I'll be going to Cooperstown for the first time and see Ozzie inducted.
You never been there?
Never been there.
Oh, it is beautiful. The Otesaga Hotel and the golf course that's attached to it, countryside, and the drive to get there, and then there's this little jewel sitting there. It's just beautiful. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Rob King from the Midwest Sports Report was born there, and his family still lives in Cooperstown.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, his mom has made sure that I was never allowed.
Here's a 1-1. Vigna out in front, strike 2. Get a nice note from Andrea Moore, who wants to say hi to her grandparents, Nellie and Gilbert Moore. Nellie was born and raised in Venezuela and told her that Molino meant windmill, and Molina is just a
that's
name,
what it is.
just as you came up with. Runner at second, 1 out. A 1 ball, 2 strike pitch coming the way of Fernando Vigna. 2-2. Lou Pote takes over for Apier, who could only go 2+ innings tonight, so his troubles continue. 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 strikeout, no walks, a hit batsman, 2 home runs. And with his history against the Cardinals, this is probably the last team he wanted to see, as he has put together a losing streak. Here's a 2-2. That won't advance the runner. Eckstein out to get it. 2 out. It's up to Polanco. Our What's on Tap is brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. Tomorrow against Anaheim is on Fox Sports Net. And then the Milwaukee game on June the 26th. That'll be our next one, as the Cardinals host the Brewers, who lost 2 outfielders. 2 outfielders in last night's win over Houston. Both Jeff Jenkins and Alex Sanchez. There's a pitch, ball 1 to Polanco, who's 2 for 2.
Well, Sanchez probably won't be that long, but Jenkins is definitely through for the year.
Dislocated ankle.
Yes, but it
was ugly.
I mean, it looked like it was a fracture, but it just tore all the ligaments. And foot was almost just hanging there.
It wasn't too much unlike Moises Alou.
Or Theismann-like.
Runner at second, 2 out. It's 2-0 on Polanco, who was sad to see Apier go. Pretty good swing, but got under it, and Erstad will come in to end the third. The Cardinals come up with a homer by Edmonds, a double by Martinez, and a 2-run shot by Renteria. And with all that, the Cardinals lead 6-0 after 3. Cardinal lead as we go to the 4th inning. Darry Kile's pitched very well. He's back to work. The Best Damn Sports Show Period's All-Star Summer kicks off. It's a month-long celebration. Special guests, Shaq, Barry Bonds, The Rock, and many more. Plus scenes from Tom's bachelor party and free TV's first Ultimate Fight. Huge stars, complete insanity. Best Damn Sports Show Period's All-Star Summer later this month on Fox Sports Net. It'll be in 6 days that'll begin. Here's Garrett Anderson, took a ball from Darry Kile. And now rips one into right center field. That ball, Mr. Edmonds, you know what to do. 1 out.
Well, he gets a good jump, doesn't he? He made it look so simple, at a ball that you said, uh-oh, this is extra bases. But then Jim Edmonds shows up, just stroked it out there, and just hung up long enough for him to glide underneath it, and didn't even need to dive.
You know, you just see the route that he takes to the ball. There's not one misstep. He's not the fastest guy in the world. He's just a great athlete who has a tremendous sense of where to go. Great hand-eye coordination. And he gets to, I think, anything that any center fielder can get to. I don't see anybody better than him.
I agree with you all the way, and see, As soon as the point of contact, you know, good center fielders, they can see where the ball is being pitched, how the swing is being made, and have a good jump as to where the ball will ultimately end up. Four-time Gold Glove winner, and both seasons right here, he's been just very special. You know, he wanted to wear a mic for us, and one of the things he wanted to tell everyone was how he moves the defense.
Well, they're letting that happen now in Major League Baseball. As Salmon doubles into left field, he's on with the second hit of the night for the Angels. And I think it'd be great. It's allowable, but it's up to the individual teams. And I'd like to see that happen. Our trivia question brought to you by Aflac. In 1970, Joe Torre led the Cardinals in hitting at .325. Which player led the team in home runs and RBIs? In 1970. Batter will be Brad Fulmer with a runner at second, one out.
I was with that club.
Well, then you ought to know that.
You could say one or two guys come to mind. Every year back then, one candidate is always Ted Simmons.
Okay, that's not right.
But in 1970, I'd say Dick Allen. How you like that one? You one-year-old kid.
That's right. I remember Dick Allen had a great year that year.
And you know, if I'm not mistaken, he missed the last 6 weeks of the season too.
Albert Pujols back to get that drive by Fulmer, 2 out. The batter will be Molina. Get a email from Rusty Grissom of Boonville, Missouri. Oh, this was for you. I thought it was for me. My answer was easy. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but it said if you were stranded on a deserted island doing commentary and could only pick one play-by-play announcer to announce with you, who would you pick? I would pick my dad.
I'd pick Joe Buck.
Okay. Now you can avoid the question. It could be George Grant. It could be Ken Wilson. It could be Joe Buck. It could be Bob Carpenter. It could be Dan McLaughlin. You've run through a lot of us in your years here in the Cardinal television broadcast booth. Right? And did I miss anybody?
Sure you did.
Bob Ramsey. Rich Gould.
I had Physiak for a couple games. I even did a couple games
Chip
with
Carey.
Joe Myers. Chip Carey.
Runner at second, 2 out. The 1-0 pitch. Molina pops it up, and that'll play. Out is Renteria, in is Pujols, and Albert takes care of it. The inning is over. So Kyle gets around a 1-out double by Salmon, and the Cardinals continue to lead. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 6-0 St. Louis. Portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Auto Tire. For the very best in tires and service, you want to go to Auto Tire. By Aflac, ask about it at work. And by Advanced Auto Parts. The best part is our people. Advanced Auto Parts. And the concourse, and now some of the kids here at the ballpark. Interleague play continues. I don't know why it seems to me like there's twice as much interleague play this year as we had last year.
And you know, we only have 12 games.
Doesn't it seem like there's a lot of it?
Well, I think because they had it split up. You know, it was in like 2 different phases last year.
Up the middle, Adam Kennedy has to hurry and got through, who was hustling all the way. 1 out.
JD was hustling all the way. He could smell that base hit, and Adam Kennedy knew his foot speed. Took a little time for him to gather that ball in, right himself, and then throw. Homer does a good job of hanging on to it. See JD going hard.
Here's Pujols, and there's ball 1. Albert hit by a pitch, then grounded out. 2-0. Robert Greer of Salem, Illinois, asks us if we think Albert Pujols can hit 30 or more home runs this season.
Absolutely.
He's almost halfway there, and we are well shy of the halfway point. He's hit 14 home runs. The Cardinals are playing in their 68th game. 81 is the halfway point. So at this pace, he will do it. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Lou Pote.
I think a better question would be 40. And I think we all think he's capable of doing that.
What did he hit last year? 37.
37. And
a 2-2 will count. One year ago today, just remind you of how incredible the season was last year. He hit 352 at this point with 20 home runs.
He's really been on a power surge of late.
That's into left field, but won't carry out. Will it stay in play? It will for Garrett Anderson. 2 out. And Lou Pote has restored sanity to this game for Anaheim. He's now set down 5 straight. The batter will be Jim Edmonds, who homered his last time up. Our Aflac trivia question: in 1970, Joe Torre led the Cardinals in hitting. Which player led the team in home runs and RBIs? Dick Allen. 34 home runs, 101 RBI.
And Joe, that was back when Busch Stadium was 414 to center field. I think it was 387 to the power alleys. They moved them in 10 feet. But
Edmonds trying to launch another. Strike 1.
30+ home runs was big back then. 3rd inning, Jim Edmonds to show you how big this ballpark is. He hits his 13th home run. So was shot against his former mates.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And like I said, Dick Allen missed the last 6 weeks of the season.
He was a strong man.
Oh.
Wow. Wow. What a play by Adam Kennedy. These two were traded for each other. And Kennedy just took a hit away from Jim Edmonds. Terrific play by the former Cardinal. We go to the 5th. 6-0 St. Louis. Placido Polanco and the gang head back to work. We go to the 5th inning. Darry Kile back to the hill, and the first pitch misses outside Adam Kennedy, who just robbed Edmonds of a hit for ball 1. 6-0 Cardinals. And to my right, screen left, is Marisol Marrero. Marisol, it's a pleasure having you in the booth.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
I'll be honest with you, it's just nice having anybody but Al sit there. So let's operate from that standpoint and talk about the barbecue.
Yep, this
It's
Sunday.
coming up. This Sunday?
Oh, not this Sunday. June 30th.
June 30th.
Sunday, June 30th.
Right around the corner, though.
Yeah.
That popped up on me in a hurry here. 1
Yeah.
ball, 2 strikes. And are you an official, full-fledged pinch hitter?
We are. All the wives are.
They are.
For the most part.
Is there a ritual that you have to go through? Is there hazing? Is there
No.
veteran wives throwing stuff at the younger
No,
wives?
nothing like that.
Okay.
Nothing
None of
like
that.
that.
Kennedy is retired as he strikes out. I think that's what happened down there. I'm looking at Marisol right now, and there's 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. All right, let's look through this. The Fabulous Motown Review.
Yep.
They'll be there.
Yep.
It's
They'll
after
be
the
there.
Cardinals and Reds games.
It is. It's right after the game, Sunday, June 30th, at the courtyard.
At the courtyard.
In the courtyard.
Used to be at Grant's Farm. Now all you have to do is walk outside the ballpark,
Yep.
the Cardinals courtyard, and they get the wives involved for one simple reason, people. That's to get the husbands to the event.
For the most part,
Pretty
I
good
guess.
chance Eli will be there?
Pretty good chance, yeah.
Okay. Now the Fabulous Motown Review will be there and take us through the night as Vina makes a leaping catch to rob Orlando Palmeiro, the pinch hitter, 2 out. What goes on?
It starts right after the game, and we're going to have a band, the Motown Review, and they'll be playing there.
Yes.
At the barbecue.
Okay.
And we'll, mostly it's for charity.
It's
and
for charity.
yeah,
All proceeds benefit St. Vincent's Home and Child Garden.
That's who we decided to give the money to this year.
Fantastic.
So they'll benefit from that. If you guys want any information, you can always call 314-481-1232, and they'll be more than happy to sell you some tickets because there's still a few available.
Okay.
So you can do that, and they'll be happy to give you any information that you may want.
And how about this, people? A $1 raffle. You can buy tickets to be sold to win a trip for 2 to Cooperstown to see Ozzie get inducted into the Hall of Fame as Eckstein is hit by a pitch to extend the top of the 5th inning. So we've got a little bit of everything, and it says this year's honorees are the 2002 Cardinals baseball team. How'd you guys come up with that?
Oh, I don't know.
Huh? So you've got Eli will be there. Everybody wants to know the big names. Are you going to get Albert Pujols there?
For the most part, all the guys go.
All the guys.
For the most part.
For the most part.
For the most part.
All right.
Sometimes they'll have a previous engagement.
You're smart. You don't want to set people up for disappointment.
For the most part, they're all there.
Okay, good. That's Marisol Marrero, and again, it's Sunday, June 30th, the Cards and Reds, and then right after the game will be the barbecue, the 40th annual barbecue. I am 33. That means that I was probably at the 7th or 8th annual barbecue, sweating bullets as a baby out at Grant's Farm. And now we have what, a new number?
No, can I give you the number one more time?
I would love, you can just keep saying numbers.
Okay, it's 314-481-1232. And everybody can call in and get tickets and get whatever information that they will need.
Okay.
They'll be more than happy to help you out. It's 314-481-1232.
Just rolls right off the tongue. And again, this year's honorees of the 2002 Cardinals baseball team, the fabulous Motown Review. You can win a trip to watch Ozzie get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and all proceeds benefit the Variety Club Sports Camp, St. Vincent's Home and Child Garden. Marisol Marrero, thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
And again, thanks for taking the headset away from Al for just a brief moment.
My pleasure.
A man can have his peace for just a second. Thank you, Marisol. We're in the top of the 5th. It's 6-0. The Cardinals on top, 1 on, 2 out, 2 balls and a strike on Erstad. Darren is 0 for 2, reached on an error, and now he rockets one into right. J.D. Drew, wow, what a catch. That may have looked easy on TV, but watching it from up here, even Marisol Marrero's clapping for that one. Line drive, and Kile helped out by Drew. Halfway through it, 6-0 Cardinals. Ford dealer and check out the great deals on the built Ford Tough F-Series trucks, now up to $2,500 cash back or 0.9% APR financing, and a no-cost bed liner on F-Series. Ford is the official car and truck of the St. Louis Cardinals. Tino Martinez doubled his last time up and scored a run. And we move into the bottom of the 5th, 6-0. New pitcher Scott Shields just called up, and there was his action on Saturday against the Dodgers. 3 innings, 3 runs on 4 hits. So while the Cardinals were playing Kansas City, the Angels were playing the Dodgers. And a pretty good fastball for a strike to Tino Martinez.
Shields better not go down south 55. Donnie Wall got released to bring him to the big leagues.
Gotcha. Martinez hits it pretty well to center, and Erstad on the track. 1 out. Happy 47th wedding anniversary to Rich Kiefer. Outstanding. And here at work tonight. Rich, I pity your trip home. It's the show that's changing the face of sports television, the best damn sports show, period. Tonight, NASCAR driver Michael Waltrip will join the guys for the full 2 hours. Plus Rick Fox, who's everywhere, will drop by to talk about how long this Lakers dynasty can last. And Jim Edmonds will check in to talk about the upcoming series against his former team, the Angels, which is going on now. Life without Big Mac. Best damn sports show, period, tonight at 11 right here on Fox Sports Net. Renteria's had a nice night with a single, a homer, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Today is Lou Brock's birthday, and today is Tom Mee's birthday.
Well, I was just going to tell you that because the Cardinals wanted to wish a very special happy 78th birthday to Irma Bergman, a St. Louisan who was a member of the Ladies Pro Baseball League. And that's interesting that Irma and Tom Mee are celebrating the same birthday, number 78.
The old home run swing the opposite way by Edgar Renteria. His third of the year. He has 31 RBIs. Oop. Ball 4 was almost hit by pitch. It's 1 on, 1 out. Here's Matheny. Nice note from John Gualdani, Columbia, Missouri. What a thrill that must be to be sitting in your frat house and get your name set on local cable access TV. So here's Matheny, 1 on, 1 out.
So what did our young student have to say?
Like the job that we're doing. Therefore, he gets his name on the air.
Where are we? Easy.
Easy.
Kendo made a nifty little play.
Everybody wants to know the whereabouts of Kent Bottenfield.
Kent Bottenfield. He was at our Legends camp this year, and of course Kent had the rotator cuff surgery, was hoping to try and make a comeback. Was not going to be able to pitch until June, but
this ball might drop. Good play by Kennedy. 2 out.
Bottenfield's career appears to be over. He went with Adam Kennedy to the Angels in the trade for Jim Edmonds.
So with 1 on, 2 out, here's Darry Kile, who's pitching a terrific game. If you'd like to win Cardinals tickets and participate in the Southwest Airlines Family of the Game promotion during a Cardinal home game, here's your chance. Send your name, address, and phone number. Southwest Airlines Family of the Game, P.O. Box 771192, St. Louis, Missouri 63177. Kyle has dropped down 2 perfect bunts, 1 for a hit, the other for a sacrifice. So he's 1 for 1, and that was his 2nd hit of the year. He's 2 for 21.
And he's going to swing away here.
No. Rest of this series, and again we'll have tomorrow night's game. Matt Morris and Aaron Seeley. That's tomorrow night. Then Bud Smith and Ramon Ortiz, a good young right-hander. 2 balls and a strike on Kyle.
And it is official that Seattle defeats Cincinnati 8-1. There you see Matt going tomorrow and continuing his fine pitching.
Do they bother having the next game's starting pitcher chart pitches?
No.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Kyle.
Oh, you know, you have not only Chad Blair, but you also have Boots Day doing those things.
Dave Duncan.
Dave Duncan kind of does it, but
computers, robots.
You know, every pitch is videotaped. Oh. It used to be the responsibility of tomorrow night's starter.
That's Gloss. That's the end of the 5th. Kyle is retired, and we go to the 6th. Darryl will go back to work. 6-0 St. Louis. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. By your local St. Louis area Kia dealers. It's about time everyone had a well-made car. And by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service.
Out there in the center field area, showing you how bats are made.
That doesn't go on in every ballpark. They don't do that in Montreal. Do they? Make hockey sticks out in the outfield.
Yeah.
Coho has a stand. 6-0 as we go to the 6th inning. Troy Gloss takes a pitch for a strike. Here's one. Here's an email for you. Bill Plate, Troy, Missouri. You'll like this one. Let's do baseball.
I can't wait.
And Gloss, did he go? No, says the first base umpire. That's Larry Poncino. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gloss is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Kyle has allowed only 3 hits, and he's been helped by his defense, and he's been hurt by his defense, but he's pitched out of trouble. 2-1. 2 errors behind him, one by Vina in the first batter, Eckstein. But he was thrown out by Matheny, so he was helped. Then he pitched around an error by Rennery in the third, and a nice running catch and the top of the fifth by Drew. Tough play. Polanco, good play, 1 out. And there's more help from his defense.
Well, that was a nice play and a very difficult one.
Cards fans, Friday, June 28th, the Cardinals play Cincinnati at Singular Wireless Pin Night. First 30,000 fans with a paid admission receive a collector's pin highlighting Albert Pujols and his 2001 National League Rookie of the Year award, courtesy of Singular Wireless. Friday, June 28th, Cards and Reds, 421-3060 or stlcardinals.com for ticket information. Fun at the old ballpark. Little lemonade, little cotton candy. Kids will stay up all night. Garrett Anderson with 1 out, nobody on. Garrett is 0 for 2. Bill Plate writes, not many years ago, I was the Buck family milkman. Occasionally your father would whip up a breakfast, or I'd bring some Danishes and we'd talk baseball, and you would join us in your PJs and always had your 6-gun shooter on your hip. We had lots of fun practicing your fast draw. I believe you were about 7 at the time. Wonderful family. I doubt he will remember, but tell Jack I said hello, and he's always in our prayers. On 2-0, Garrett Anderson fouls it away, 2-1. There's about 6% chance that's a true story, but in the case that it is, thanks for the letter. Today's Pennzoil protection play is this to start the 6th inning by Polanco.
We're reaching down, then he has to right himself and throw out a runner.
And Ed Rapuano
is in pain.
In pain.
I guess that's a good description. Seen more umpires recently being hit, but look where his hand is, not behind the back, and gets it right on the elbow.
Oh. And so Brad Henderson's going to come out, try to freeze it with that spray. And then yank on it. Making sure it's not broken.
Feel anything yet? Feel this? Feel that? Saw a trainer, had a trainer when we were in Tulsa, and the Jack Bogue was
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Where are we going? And the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Where is that? In somebody's basement?
It's here at the ballpark.
I know. I'm just kidding. It's so tame in there.
Tom Meese telling you what he wants to do on his birthday.
Go in there. Well, we're back to action, and Ed Rapuano will have his left arm firmly tucked behind his body on this next pitch, I would imagine.
Nope.
Nope. On the inside corner, and Anderson gets rung up. Strikeout number 5 for Darry Kile.
Didn't take long, and a good pitch right there. Gave up on it and tails back to the corner.
Still trying to get feeling in that arm. There's strike one. We get word from Ben Hoadley that Kent Bottenfield is enjoying a year off with his family in Brownsburg, Indiana. He hopes to pitch 3 or 4 more years before his career is over. So he's just on pause, Al. He's on pause. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Salmon took ball 1.
I hope that's the case, but we'll wait and see.
You're still on pause, right? You're going back down.
I'm going back down too.
With 2 out, nobody on, Salmon, who has a double, breaks his bat. And Renteria stays with a tricky hop. The inning is over. So Darry Kile is turning in one of, if not his best of the season. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 6-0 St. Louis. Ford Windstar comes with 4 doors and $3,000 cash back or 0.9% APR financing. Windstar's quadruple 5-star safety rating comes at no extra cost. Ford is the official car and truck of the St. Louis Cardinals. Vina, Polanco, and Drew. Top of the order for the Cardinals, who lead by 6. Strike 1 from Scott Shields. Third pitch of the night. Apier 2 innings. Pote 2 innings. He did very well. 1 walk. That's it. No hits. And Shields. Vina, left center field. Erstad, 1 out.
Play him around into right center and did a nice job.
Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports and is an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net. Arteries hardening just looking at that. But you can't go to a game without eating a dog. With 1 out, Polanco hits it foul. Placido hitting .261. Well, since we last talked, it's been seemingly weeks since I last saw you, but the Cardinals added Gerald Williams and Warren Morris. And I think both guys could help this club.
Well, you know, I went out with Tony and some of the coaches to his golf tournament, and a couple of them had talked to Galen Pitts. Galen Pitts was giving them a little update on those 2 guys, and he also said, don't forget about Juan Cruz, first baseman that they got, power slugging first baseman. Ivan Cruz. That's right, left-hander, and you know, he's got a bunch of home runs, and all of a sudden Coolbaugh's got a bunch of home runs, so a couple guys on Tony's bench are getting a little nervous.
The guy, I like Gerald Williams a lot. He's got some serious pop in his bat.
Well, it was 2 years ago. He had 21 home runs for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he can play. He just didn't get a chance to play.
And that's what Tony talked to Tino Martinez about, his former teammate. He said, yeah, he said, you know, we like him a lot. He just didn't get him any opportunities with the Yankees. So the Cardinals were able to sign him.
Here's a 2-0. Drew takes ball 3. JD does not have a hit tonight, but he's got 2 RBIs with a sac fly and an RBI ground out. That's ball 4, and Albert will bat. Runner at first, 2 out. Second walk handed out by Shields. Pujols hit by a pitch. He's grounded out. He's flied out. And again, the Cardinals, if they hang on and win tonight, they'll be in first place all to their lonesome as the Reds lost at home to Seattle. CJ, Jill, Tim Garcia.
And who's the other guy?
It's the guy from Dirt Cheap Liquors in the back.
No, I mean this other guy.
No, that's Charlie Spoonhour.
Yeah, that guy.
How about that? I'd like to have that in an 8x10.
Oh.
Huh? I can find a place for that.
And Tim Garcia right in the middle of it.
All there.
Always.
And a base hit for Albert. His first of the night. On base for the second time. So that's Fred, Jill, CJ, Charlie, Tim. I like it. And with 2 on, 2 out, the batter will be Jim Edmonds, and they need to talk. They need a conference. They called a 20-second timeout. They couldn't wait for the TV timeout. They called their own.
Yeah, we got a moment as the bench coach for the Angels, Joe Madden, was talking to him. He was like a kid in a candy store seeing Busch Stadium. He was telling us that growing up in Pennsylvania, he was a big Cardinal fan. He'd never been to the ballpark here.
Was it Musial?
No, because of a guy named Jack Buck, Harry Carey. As a kid, he would listen to KMOX radio, and he said his dad took him to the first game he ever went to was a Yankee game, and he bought a Cardinal cap, and he said he was a Cardinal fan ever since. But he said, listening at night in Western Pennsylvania to KMOX, and what a thrill to see this ballpark met his expectations as to what he thought Cardinal baseball was all about.
And really, back then, this ballpark didn't look a whole lot like this.
No,
the structure did, but the field and a lot that went into this park didn't look like this. 2 on, 2 out, the 0-1. Edmonds is in the hole 0-2. It's Jim Jackson's birthday as well. My gosh.
And all the talent.
Lou Brock, Tom Mee, Jim Jackson.
Bill Turpinoff.
Bill Turpinoff, of course.
Yes.
Paul McCartney, the recently remarried Paul McCartney. It's his birthday.
It's Yosh.
Yosh? Kawano?
No. One of Nikki's friends. It's her birthday today, too.
Oh, okay.
Yoshi.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Edmonds. Molina and Edmonds renewing old acquaintances. Edmonds wondering if the clubhouse spread is still the same under Mike Scioscia as it was under, who was his last manager? Terry Collins?
Terry Collins.
It's a good call right there. Yeah, you would not have come up with that.
No, I would not have. I know the manager eats a lot more today.
Hey, only an old roommate can say that. With 2 on, 2 out, no balls, 2 strikes on Edmonds. Cardinals lead 6-0 in the 6th. Edmonds strikes out, but he can run. He doesn't run, and the inning comes to a close. That wasn't good. Some in the crowd boo. Edmonds, had he realized where the ball was, could have made it down to first. Didn't, and the inning ends. Still 6-0 after 6. Darry Kile goes back to work as we go to the 7th inning. And the Cardinals lead 6-0. 6-0 as we move to the 7th, and Darry Kile has turned in one of his best. The Cardinals have left 8, by the way. And that was a little hard to explain with Edmonds not running on the ball back to the screen.
Brain cramp.
Well, he started. He took about 3 steps and then stopped.
And Tony will let them know about that, and they'll even though you got that 6-0 lead, you just want to keep on pushing.
It's not like the Angels are a team that can't score 6 runs in 9 outs. They've got 3 innings left.
And you know, that's the last thing that Jim Edmonds wanted to show his former teammates or his former fans.
Yeah, that's true. Isn't that the truth? Here's Fulmer, and there's a line drive into center. This is what he wants to show him. That Edmonds ends up with a dive at the end. And there's 1 out.
Yeah, you're right. That's more indicative of Jim Edmonds' play, and gets up, and you always worry about that wrist. You can see how humid it is today and how much perspiration on his uniform, as he got this thing pretty muddy. Makes the catch, and then a little loses balance and dives. Don't want to get too close to that wall because it's padded up top, but not there on the bottom where his head almost went to.
Yeah, you know, I'll give him that one, because sometimes you see guys dive after the play, but he started to stumble, and
Yes.
had he continued to stumble, he might have planted his head into that Bud sign out in left center field.
And don't you ever get the birds on bat that dirty.
No, come on. So with 1 out, this is Benji Molina, the number 7 hitter, with Adam Kennedy on deck, and a good curveball is in for a strike from Kile.
You said it, Joe. It looks like Darryl is getting back into a groove,
Which is really good news. You look at his numbers are terrific, and what isn't seen in that line is him pitching around 2 errors against a good hitting team.
I think he's very tough mentally, and he can overcome those things.
That's strike 2.
Probably gets down on himself. Two-seamer, fastball grip. That is a sinker.
What does he bring on 2-2? Drop down sidearm, and it's a full count.
Well, we should be able to show you that one. Here's 12-6 curveball. You see how important the middle finger is in catching that seam, and also the thumb underneath.
Good fastball. Comebacker, and Kile throws his two-seam fastball over to first for the out. 2 out. Nice crowd tonight, 39,386, but they don't get to see this.
There you see the split finger pitch, a pitch he's been using more and more. And you can change the velocity by how far you stick it back into the palm of the hand. Make it do different things by where you put the thumb. And when he drops down, we call it a slider. Throws the fastball and the breaking ball from Laredo.
1 ball, 1 strike on Kennedy, with a pinch hitter, Benji Gill, on deck.
Boy, doesn't his Rawlings glove look beautiful?
To Kyle?
Yeah, look at that Rawlings. Look how prominent that.
Just end the speculation and tell us exactly what they pay you to go into this mode that you go in.
Oh, absolutely nothing. Brand new one. He's got Darry Kile on it and everything.
Into center field. Edmonds back to get it, and the inning is over. So Kyle still doing his thing. The Cardinals still lead it 6-0. And now for a look at today's national news headlines. Let's go to the Fox Network Center. Congratulations to Robert Sova, S-O-V-A, today's merchandise prize winner in the Hyundai long drive inning sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run in this 7th, Robert Silva will qualify for the grand prize drawing for a Hyundai Santa Fe at the end of the season. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer to complete an entry form. Tino Martinez first up for the Cardinals. Tino has a double. He's 1 out of 3 tonight. Rennery and Matheny will follow, and then Kyle. And there's a strike from the right-hander Shields. This will be his last inning of work. Pitcher spot due to lead off in the 8th. Martinez drives one to right center, and that'll hang up for Erstad. 1 out. I haven't seen a whole lot of Martinez lately, but he looks like he's starting to get that home run swing back. Tomorrow, the St. Louis Cardinals return to the field and take on the Anaheim Angels tomorrow at 5:30, starting with Cardinals tonight right here on Fox Sports Net. It is a 6:10 start here at the ballpark. This is Renteria with 1 out, and that's ball 1.
How many balls have gotten through Molina tonight?
6.
I was thinking it was 6.
Renteria pops it up right side. It'll go out of play.
You are right about Tino starting to swing a little better.
Seems like he's cutting it loose a little more.
Yeah, and it didn't seem like that. It was like a gate. He was swinging a little bit earlier in the season.
Count goes to 2 balls and a strike on Renteria. Edgar's been perfect tonight. Except for an error in the field, he has a single run scored, a 2-run homer, and a walk. Hitting .293, and he reaches for strike 2.
If you go to the back to the pediatrician's office and you put that pitcher side by side, what do you see different about the home plate umpire?
See, now you're getting it. Now you're picking it up. Still 2-2. The magazine is highlights. highlights. You find stuff in a drawing of a wooded forest, and they hide acorns, and it's just stuff to occupy kids before they get some sort of inoculation. Here's the 2-2. I equate the magazine highlights with shots and tears.
Steroids.
No, not those. Well, I don't know what Jose Canseco was reading when he was doing it, but I'm betting it wasn't highlights. But you never know. And maybe it'll be in the book. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Another foul.
There is Joe Madden next to Mickey Hatcher. That's the one that grew up in western Pennsylvania, not too far from where Socha's from, and a big Cardinal fan. And
reaching for it, clunked it out to left, and Eckstein goes to get it. 2 out.
I think the only thing that would have made Joe's night is if he would have had a chance to meet your dad.
Let's talk about Fred Bird's birthday bash. It's $25 per person. Birthday bash amenities include game ticket, all you can eat chicken tenders, hot dogs, chips, and Prairie Farms ice cream. Redbird birthday cookie, personal visit by Fred Bird. Goodie bag that includes a Cardinals cap, autographed ball by Matt Morris for the birthday child. $25 per person. Spend your birthday at the ballpark. 314-425-0600. Schedule your child's birthday bash. Ball 1 to Mike Matheny, who's 1 for 2 tonight and hitting .238. He is 1 for 3 tonight, and we go to the 8th. Cardinals go in order. The relief work, Pote and Shields have been good for Anaheim. That's the good news for them. The bad news, the Cardinals lead 6-0 into the 8th.
Cardinals have been off the charts tonight. They lead this one by the score of 6-0. Now you have to go all the way back to 1988. That's when he was a 7th round selection of then the California Angels, but now the Anaheim Angels. 7 years he spent in Anaheim, and they knew what they gave up in that big deal with Bottenfield and Adam Kennedy. They gave up a guy that could hit for power, and he has done that here tonight. His second at bat, a leadoff home run. And then you talk about the great defense. Of course, they know all about that defense. 2-time Gold Glover while with the Anaheim Angels, and certainly he made one of the greatest plays maybe in baseball history while with the Anaheim Angels in Kansas City. A play that was his back was behind the infield, and that's still even talked about today. And we have seen that kind of Gold Glove defense since he arrived in 2000. Guys, back to you.
All right, Dan, thanks. It's Benji Gill at the plate, marking the second Benji who's in the lineup for the Angels. There's Edmonds right on cue. Go get it. He can't. It's over his head and up against the wall. And Benji Gill is on with a pinch hit leadoff double. Batting for Shields, who went 3 innings. No runs, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 2 walks.
Throws the pitch out away from him. Jimmy goes back but knows it's over his head, so he's going to play the carom. And gets it back in as quick as possible. But Benji Gill with that double.
Now it's Eckstein. Ball 1 from Kile as they start to stir but don't start throwing yet in the Cardinal bullpen. 96 pitches on the night for Kile.
His last 2 outings were 5 1/3 and 4 1/3. So he hasn't been out there around that 100 pitch mark for a while.
1 ball, 1 strike on Eckstein. Then you get into their big bats: Erstad, Gloss, Anderson, Salmon, Fulmer. They can come at you left, right yet. That's a good play by Polanco. Playing in to guard against the bunt, and he recovers to make that play. Boy, is he a vacuum over there. 1 out.
It's very, very good. And you know, I knew that Manny Mota was very instrumental in Polanco, and not only playing Manny's Little League, but also Manny Mota got his helped him get a scholarship to Miami-Dade, but Manny's son told me today that Polanco lived in their Miami home while he was going to Miami-Dade. That's, I guess that's why you'd almost think his extended family, the Motas, and he almost looks at Manny Mota as his father.
Here's Erstad now. 1 on, 1 out. Darren takes a breaking ball for a strike. Erstad has flied to center, reached on an error, and then hit a laser line drive into right. The J.D. Drew went back to catch and looked very at ease in doing so. Runner at second, 1 out. 6-0 Cardinals in the 8th. Cardinals are coming off a complete game victory by Woody Williams. Then had an off day. And now are getting at least 7 1/3 innings out of Kile. What a difference from early in the year.
With him going. And of course, Isringhausen is available now, so that's even better news for the bullpen.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Erstad has hit 4 home runs. He really burst onto the major league scene and had a great start to his career. Good center fielder.
Is he a kicker or punter on Nebraska?
That I don't know. 1-2 pitch. That might put Anaheim on the board. Edmonds has a chance. Gill coming to the plate. Good play by Kile to back up, and Gill scores on the hit by Erstad at 6-1. That would have completed a big night for Edmonds had he come up to get Gill, and it was awfully close.
Jimmy has not the strongest arm. It's definitely strong enough, but it's one of the most accurate throwing arms, and kind of submarines a little bit on Matheny, so it gets by him. Where we've seen Mike make some terrific plays and blocking the plate, but unable to catch it. And you're right about Kile backing up the play and keeping Erstad only at first base. See Benji Gill's trying to slide around the plate and potential tag.
Check on Erstad. By backing up, it keeps the double play in order, and this is a candidate if you can get Gloss to hit the ball on the ground.
Steck Schulte and Klein throwing in the Cardinal bullpen.
Think of the options the Cardinals have in the bullpen, plus a guy like Crudale who's no longer here. There are a lot of arms, and very good arms, that Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan can call on night after night.
And then we saw in the notes today that Jimmy Jornell, who was the pitcher of the year last year in the minor leagues, has been asked to participate in the Futures game at the All-Star weekend.
That's into center field, and Edmonds will go get it. No word as to whether Jimmy Jornell will balk at that opportunity and throw in with John Burkett in protest of the baseball commissioner. Today's advanced auto division standings look like this. The Cardinals at this very second are a half game up on Cincinnati. It'll be a full game if the Cards can hang on. 7 up on the Pirates, and the Astros not only are 9 out at this second, that game is a final. A 7-1 victory for Milwaukee over Houston, so they'll be 9.5 out if the Cardinals win tonight, and that's hard to believe.
10 on the lost side.
Anderson, base hit to right. Ball just jumped off his bat. It's first and second with 2 out, and their red hot hitter Tim Salmon coming up.
The Yankees are having a little fun in Colorado. As you see the ball jump off of Garrett Anderson's bat, a real live bat. And Joe, they've played 7 half innings in Colorado, and there's been at least 1 run scored in every frame for both teams.
They need to crank up the humidor. This is going to be the end of the night for Kile. with Salmon coming up. Steckschulte's coming in. So we'll give Salmon a new look as Steckschulte will face him for the first time, and Darry Kile should receive a nice hand. Another strong start.
Larissa has made a pitching change. Darry Kile goes the first 7 2/3 innings. 1 run on the board, but he's responsible for the 2 runners on. 6 hits allowed, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Steckschulte will take over for Darryl. And there you see the line for Darry Kile tonight. He can only be the winner, but if Steckschulte fails to get the first man, it can make it a lot closer. Gene's done a wonderful job. See the 6 wins out of the bullpen, 28 innings, only 21 hits allowed. The last outing was Saturday, where he pitched 2/3 of an inning. The 6 wins are tops among National League relievers, and Mike Scioscia has had a long night right now, but his ball club is very good, as are the Cardinals. Are coming from behind, but ever so true, the first man that a reliever faces tells a big part of the story. So if Steckschulte can get Salmon here with 2 outs and make a big difference. And this ball is going to be home run distance, but pulled foul. So he jumps on the first pitch. Tim Salmon is trying to guide this ball, keep it fair, but unlike Carlton Fisk, he can't do the job. He's the franchise leader in home runs and RBIs.
Had a great career.
Also extra base hits, ranked 2nd in runs scored, total bases and doubles.
2 on with 2 out. Steckschulte has stranded 67% of the runners that he's inherited. He'd like to up that. He could strand 2. Counts 2-1, 93 miles an hour. So the Cardinal bullpen guys, Al, are in a spot now where they're looking for work.
Yeah, it's you know, you either get too much work or you get too much rest. You see the numbers. One of 11 players to have at least 10 seasons with their current team.
Sidearm misses, and with Fulmer on deck.
Could be only 1 batter.
Line in the bullpen. This is going to be it, good or bad, for Steckschulte against Salmon. That'll get out of play. Full count. The runners will take off on the next pitch.
Kyle, only thing he can do is sit and watch, but much better than his last outing. And I think it's been a while since he's thrown that many pitches. About 107 pitches.
That's into shallow center. Out is Vina. He wants it. Good work by Steckschulte. Ran it to 3-1. Came back and into the inning. And that might be the last big threat for the Angels tonight. They get 1, they strand 2, and after 7.5, it's 6-1 Cardinals. Portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with lower fares. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by Lowe's, improving home improvement. Now what are we making? Put a penny in. Wind it up. What do we get?
You get one of those souvenirs that flattens it out, but it puts a indentation of, what is it? The Busch Stadium? Cardinals logo? Cardinal.
Now it puts a hole in it.
Punch it so you put the
necklace around it. Well, it is a big operation.
Oh man. This guy's not making enough money.
Could pocket some of the pennies that people give him. 6-1, and Dennis Cook takes over.
And Cairo will pinch hit for Steckschulte. Miguel is a career .368 batter at Busch Stadium, a .398 batter against left-handed pitching, and second in the National League with 8 pinch hits.
Our Auto Tire pinch hitter with Vigna and Polanco to follow against Dennis Cook. He's had a heck of a career. This guy's been around a long time.
Yes, he has. He's been around with so many different clubs. Appearing for the 28th time, ERA under 3. And you see fewer hits than innings pitched.
Over 11 years in the big leagues.
Saw him plunk John Green over the weekend. Green has started his home run binge again.
Cairo hits one up the middle. He's on with a base hit. Adds to his .240 average. So with Miguel on, we remind you what's coming up in the Midwest Sports Report. Do they still exist in Major League Baseball? Throwbacks. Brent Stover goes in search of the throwback player. Bernie will talk trade talk. Was the Jim Edmonds trade Walt Jocketty's best ever? And we'll be here with a complete post-game wrap-up, as will the guys in the studio. That's right after the game on the Midwest Sports Report. Here's Vigna. Fernando has been on base once. He's driven in a run, has 31 RBIs, and he slaps one down the left field line fair. Into the corner, and Cairo will turn it on. He'll score all the way from first base on a double by Vigna. It's 7-1.
2 RBIs, pair of hits, and a second base fly for Vigna on the night. And Cairo, you know, he's a great pickup. He just understands his role very, very well. And Vigna just beats every defense with that slicer down into the left field corner. And it rattles around there, and Garrett Anderson had to go in and dig it out. So Cairo was able to go off to the races, picks up Oquendo, and Oquendo had an easy decision to send him home.
Polanco takes a strike on the inside corner. Placido 2 hits tonight after 259. Started the night at 255. RBI chance for him. Cardinals have their 6-run lead back. Just so you know, Miguel Cairo's up to 391 as a pinch hitter for Tony La Russa.
Came in, he was second in the National League with 8 pinch hits, now 9.
Here's an 0-2. Loss. Is that Mr. Isringhausen getting ready to pitch?
Looks like it.
So they weren't lying. He's okay.
Yeah, he's okay, and you know, it's been a long time, so you also have the benefit of bringing him in a non-save situation.
J.D. Drew now with a runner at second, 1 out. Drew hitting .277. Takes a ball. Here's what's gone on in baseball tonight. Luis Castillo has run his hitting streak to 32 games.
Wow.
With a base hit and a 4-1 win for Florida over Cleveland. And Ken Griffey Jr. went 2 for 3 against his old team, the Seattle Mariners, in an 8-1 loss. Seattle won at 8-1, and Griffey picked up career hit number 2,000. And the story from St. Louis is the Cardinals will be in first place all alone at the end of the night. If they hang on to what is now a 6-run lead. 2 balls and a strike.
I'd like to see that.
Here's a 2-1 sidearm, and Vigna took off but able to get back. I think that caught Ed Rapuano as well. Sounded like it.
Vigna out there and dropped down. I think he thought for a minute that ball had gotten away, or maybe it did, where you said it thought it hit the umpire.
That's the case, and it's at least another one that got past Molina. He's had a rough night behind the plate. Here's a 3-1. Drew pops it into left center field, and Erstad will take it. 2 out. Vigna tags and will go to third. He's there for Albert Pujols.
I see that Rappiano get beat up back there. Let's take a look at that ball. That catcher sets up outside, so now this one on the ankle, but it's got shin guards underneath there, so I'm sure that wasn't too bad, but I think he's still feeling the effects of the one on the elbow.
So now with a runner at third, 2 out, here is Albert, who has 46 RBIs, takes the ball.
Never know, Joe, but with Vigna with a comfortable 7-1 lead, he goes to third base, and as we saw that how many times the ball's gotten by Molina, it might be an easy way to score a run. Albert has struggled with runners in scoring position.
And on top of that, 2 out, and that's the situation here. Counts even, 1-1. There is still no doubt in my mind, though, he is one of the best young clutch hitters that we've seen come along in a long time.
Absolutely.
Here's a 1-1.
I think when it's all said and done, with a slow start that he got off to, it was decent in April, but he's been quietly making some adjustments as National League pitchers made adjustments to him.
The defense for Pujols as they actually play him to go the other way.
And interesting, where we've seen a lot of teams have success pitching him in.
It's 2-2.
The fourth nice play that Oquendo's made at third base, coaching box.
He's still only 28 years old. Okay, not many people realize that.
Said Wally Joyner when he saw Ortiz, one of the Latin players, brought in 3 birthday cakes for the 3 birthdays that obviously the immigrations department found for him.
Here's the 2-2. Pujols with a good swing, probably his best of the night, as he fouled it straight back.
Sometimes you get that one chance, and what do you do with it? He knew he got a pitch and just fouled it.
Kansas City Royals fired their pitching coach today.
Oh, St. Louis and Al Nipper.
That's foul. And Oquendo wants no part of that.
Maybe 28, but he's smart.
That's right.
Smart old 28, right? Been making dandy plays, but not this one.
No way part of that.
Well, he's done a good job, hasn't he?
He really
Third
has.
base.
Vigna is right in front of him over at third base. 2 out. And that's ball 3. We'll have a 3-hour game before we're finished. Cardinals lead 7-1. They'll turn to Matt Morris tomorrow night. They'll be trying to go 11 games over the 500 mark. If they win tonight, they'll be 10 over. 3-2. That's foul. Pujols is getting some good swings against Dennis Cook.
It's one of those things you don't know what it's going to end up, but you can say it's a good at bat.
Montreal at home beat Kansas City. So the change in pitching coaches didn't do the trick for the Royals. A big gate, I'm sure, at Olympic Stadium in Montreal.
Walk-up crowd was huge.
First and third with 2 out. And Edmonds keeps looking into the dugout to see if they're going to pinch hit for him, but they send Edmonds to the plate. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net, brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up but never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. I don't know if Edmonds was looking for a pinch runner for Pujols or wondering if La Russa, who lifted Edmonds on Sunday for a pinch hitter, was going to do so again here against the left-hander. But the answer is go hit, Jim. And Jim has done that once tonight with an opposite field home run back in the third, his 13th of the year.
I think on Sunday he was just trying to ease him back in there and not be too much. But now if the wrist is feeling good, you need as many bats as possible to get back into a groove.
Runners at the corners, 2 out. Edmonds takes ball 1. Other races that are going on around baseball. You look lately at the lead that the Braves have built up in the NL East. They're up 5.5 games.
The biggest lead in baseball was
Nope.
the Central Division of the American League, right?
No, you're right. It is. The Central Division of the American League's 5. Cleveland and Chicago looking up at Minnesota. Minnesota pounded the Mets at Shea tonight, 6-1.
Red Changes was talking about that Minnesota club in spring training. He said, boy, they can swing the bats.
Edmonds with a good swing, 2-1. Think about the start of the season. All anybody wanted to talk about with Minnesota was the possibility of them being contracted for this season or for next. Now they've bought another year in a negotiation, and they're safe for at least one more season. But then their lease at the Metrodome will be up.
See, I didn't understand why you couldn't just pay off the lease.
Runners at first and third, 2 out. Here's a 2-1. Diving stop, Fulmer robbed the Cardinals of a hit, a run, and Edmonds makes the final out here in the 8th. It appears that Isringhausen will reappear for the Cardinals as we go to the 9th. 7-1 St. Louis. 7-1 as we go to the 9th inning. Today's play of the game brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. We showed you those 3 players because they are involved in our plays of the game. And here they are. We talk defense behind the outstanding start by Darry Kile. First, Matheny to erase Eckstein, who was on with the error back in the first. Polanco to his left, one of 2 very good plays tonight. And Jim Edmonds, one of 2 very good plays tonight as he made the dive out into left center field. That was back in the 7th. And here is Jason Isringhausen and Al Raboski. It's great to see him back on the mound.
Absolutely. It's been quite a while for Jason. He last pitched on June the 4th. He's been experiencing some forearm stiffness. He's had a history of arm problems and elbow problems, so he kind of got waited for that to subside. Miguel Cairo stays in the game to play left field, and Jason will take over here. And it's really nice that it's not a one-run game, because you know he's going to be a little spotty with his command.
Fastball up and into Fulmer for ball 1. And you've been in that situation before. I'm sure Isringhausen appreciates an opportunity in a non-nail biter to get some work in.
Well, it's just doesn't always happen, but if you do have the opportunity, it's just that much better. Because when you haven't pitched, you can throw bullpen sessions, you can throw all you want, but when you get out there in the game conditions, it's a little bit different, and your adrenaline is pumping a lot more, and you just have to keep everything under control.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. wrong with his velocity, but the count's 3-0.
And you got Mike Timlin throwing because you want to get him out there, but you don't want him to labor.
You want him to get out there in preparation for tomorrow night.
Right.
So you can't wear him out. Timlin's getting loose.
Yeah, and that's one of the other things too, Joe, is when you've had that long a layoff, you don't bounce back as quickly also. Good pitch right on the hands, Fulmer.
It'd be hard pressed if you're Fulmer hitting that way to get around on a 97-mile-an-hour pitch with the bat pointing back toward the pitcher.
Home run. Timlin threw up over the weekend.
3-2. 3 in a row out of the strike zone. Now 3 in a row in it. Isringhausen was on quite a roll before he had to shut it down. Cardinals, though, had save opportunities while he was unavailable, and none of them were blown.
That's right. Guys both picked it up. He was 12 for 12 in save opportunities since his lone blown save in April 26th, Montreal.
Hard hit. He did get around at a 95-mile-an-hour pitch, and Drew will dig it out eventually. Fulmer will at least end up at third.
Well, probably another error, as he had trouble with it. Let's see. He's right down the corner. You can see how far off the line J.D. Drew is. His ball. And now he misses it.
Took a bad bounce.
Yeah, it took a bad bounce, and call it a 2-base hit and then an E9.
The old 3-error night. Cardinals will try to win despite that, and it doesn't happen very often.
Take a look at J.D. kind of standing around, just leaning over, and they had a long run to come over there. He's going to get this one though.
And Fulmer tags, comes to the plate. It's a 7-2 game, but more importantly, out number 1 here in the 9th inning. Sac fly by Molina. Bases empty, 1 away. Cardinals lead 7-2 over Anaheim. Midwest Sports Report's coming up. Let's check in at the desk.
Here's what's coming up after the game on the Midwest Sports Report. Bernie Miklasz talks about the trade that brought Jim Edmonds to St. Louis. We'll take a look at baseball's throwback players, and we'll go one-on-one with Cards manager Tony La Russa. That's all after the game. Now back to Joe and Al. Guys?
Thank you, Rob. 1 out, bases empty, a run home. Adam Kennedy grounds 1 foul, bounces 1 off his foot. Strike 1.
Joe, Tony La Russa had a very successful golf tournament out in Napa yesterday. The Animal Rescue Foundation does an unbelievable job, and celebrities he gets across the country to go out there. A little short rest. You know, he had a couple players that wanted to go, but he said no way. He got to the hotel in Napa at 2 a.m. I guess yesterday morning, and then took the red eye back in today, so he arrived at after 6 o'clock. And he said, if I would have had one of my players and they came in and gave up a home run or something, he said, I would have felt terrible. So appreciate the fact some of his players wanted to come, but some of the coaches went. Nice play by someone here, but
were you there?
Yes.
You look fantastic.
Oh,
kind of
you know how I take good care of myself.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Kennedy with 1 out, nobody on. Diving stop, Polanco. Another good defensive play. Placido's made 3 tonight, 2 out. Nobody appreciates that more than La Russa, trying to help get Isringhausen through this 9th inning.
Look how far off the line he is, and then off the bat of a left-hander is going to slice further away from him. So a real nice play, and conservative count, at least the 3rd nice play by Polanco tonight.
Scott Spezio now will come off the bench and bat for Cook, who went 1 inning, allowed 1 run on 1 hit and a walk. Actually 2 hits.
He also lost an extra man in batting practice. Ramirez was injured as a knee buckled on him as he was doing some defensive drills out in center field. So they're playing with a little short bench.
2 out, nobody on. The 0-1 to Spezio. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dad was a former Redbird, Ed Spezio.
1-2, and the Angels are down to their final strike.
And last year they had Jerry DeVannon's son, former Cardinal shortstop.
Those that remain from a crowd of 39,386 want it to end right here. 2-2. There's nothing wrong with the elbow with his velocity.
Well, you know, there was a couple times where he threw on the side, and Steve Klein, of all people, had to get on him and say, wait a minute, they aren't going to let you pitch in the game until the doctors see you. Quit throwing on the side.
Full count.
And as Steve said, at 100 miles an hour.
Three-two pitch. Should end it. Vina. Cardinals win another. They're in first place all alone. 1 game in front of Cincinnati. And the final score, 7-2 over the Angels. We'll be right back with a complete post-game report. Now it's time for the Midwest Sports Report. Let's send it to the studio. So long.